Hello, it's Walter Smith on BlueMoonRisingTV, back for another week of Walter's Glass Half Full, where we inject a bit of positivity into those comments left by negative Nellies on YouTube. Without further ado, let's get on with some of those comments. The troll of the week this week has got to go to our friend Akim. £54 million for a bench warmer. Ha ha ha! Where's he going to play? Only join for Arab money. The guys in charge of City's acquisitions in the transfer market, they ain't Edward Woodward. They know what they're actually doing. Targets were identified and then acquired. The executives at City looked at over 50 scouting reports about how he was getting on. Nearly all of De Bruyne's games for Belgium and for Wolfsburg were analysed by the City specialists. This, my red friend, is the time at City, new era so to speak, where they actually try and minimise the risks when they're actually going to spend big. They weren't running around Europe with a wedge of cash on the last day, that's for sure. In a desperate frenzy to try and sign Tom, Dick and Harry. I don't think Edward Woodward could actually arrange a booze up. Well, in here. Did you actually see the goal that De Bruyne scored for Belgium the other night? And have you actually seen the bloke's stats? He's good. I think he'll fit just nicely into the Manchester City team, where we're actually moving the ball forward. Sterling on one side of the pitch, De Bruyne on the other. I believe he's going to take Navas's place. He's the man to make way. I believe City are going to scare a lot of teams after death this season. If you've got any thoughts on that, leave it in the comments below. Hamza Asmar. How can Sterling be a great signing, yet the Martial kid isn't? I think both have been overpriced. It's two different players in two different positions, but I'll try and compare them. I feel Sterling is absolutely tailor-made to fit into the Manchester City system, as if he was born to play that role, and he adds a lot to the team. I just don't feel that this Martial deal, with Ed Woodward grabbing him on the last day of the transfer window, doesn't seem as well thought out. If Rooney gets injured, there's going to be a lot of pressure on that young man. Comparing the two, Sterling is a regular international, Martial isn't. Sterling has produced at the top level of the Premier League, Martial hasn't. Listening to a podcast the other day, I was listening to Philippe Auclair, the French expert, and he was saying that people in France were absolutely flabbergasted by the price that Man United paid for him. He stated that if he appears another 25 times for United, they cough up another 10 million euros. If he appears another 10 times for France, they cough up another 10 million euros. Hamza, you better pray that the sterling remains strong against the euro. This Martial kid that you were telling me about, he's only actually completed a handful of 90 minutes for Monaco. What, maybe 5 or 6 games? Yeah, that's it. Ed Woodward almost reminds me of the guy who gets his pay packet, has a few beers, and then ends up going in the bookies on a Friday night. City seems to be that shrewd gambler who at the moment are studying the form. I was watching a full-time Devils video during the week, and you could see in Andy Tate's face the pain and the hurt of just how badly Manchester United have done this transfer window. Made me smile. Shivam Chadri. Surely there should be a limit to how much one team can spend in a single transfer window. It is so unfair how teams like City and Chelsea get to spend over £100 million every time and end up winning the league. Hey! City stayed within FFP, that's for sure. I never heard any Arsenal fans moaning when Danny Fiszman was absolutely pumping money into Arsenal. You weren't moaning then. Arsenal fans weren't crying unfair at the time when Fiszman money was bringing in Bergkamp and Platt. They weren't moaning when Tony Adams and David Seaman were actually tied down to decent contracts with this Fiszman money when United came sniffing. For an Arsenal fan to come on here and moan about Manchester City actually spending money, that's hypocrisy, folks. Arsenal, the only team known that actually bought a place in the top division at the expense of Spurs. They don't let me forget that. Manchester City are actually offering season tickets for under £300, while Arsenal is the most expensive place on planet Earth to watch football. What's unfair there? It's not City you should be upset at, it's your club for accepting mediocrity. Arsenal are the only team in the top 5 European leagues that didn't actually sign an outfield player. That's hardly City's fault, is it? Arsene Wenger, who actually gets paid nearly double what Pellegrini gets paid, decided the team that got walloped by West Ham is good enough to win the league, settling for mediocrity. He knew that Danny Welbeck was going to be out for the rest of this year. And what does he go and sign? Yeah, that's right, folks, a goalkeeper. Hardly City's fault. So don't come crying on a City channel moaning about City spending. The people you should be getting mad at is the Arsenal board. So that about sums up another week of Walter's Glass Half Full. Now, if you've enjoyed this, give it a like. If you want some positivity injected into the blue world of Manchester City, leave a comment below. Oh, it's time for another.
I think we won 2-1. 2-1. Come on, 3-0. 3-0, we won 3-0.